620 here, Big 550 KTRS. Aaron Katursky is with us, and he's been covering this.
He's not here until 6:35.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good. I read that wrong. Good. So we have more time to talk about this Rams thing.
Yeah.
Jimmy Holder, why don't you stick around? Stick around and suck a little.
By the way, I love how Jimmy Holder says, "You look a lot better today, McGraw."
Hey, McGraw, you look pretty good, actually, today. The story in is it the LA Times? The LA Times has this story that Stan Kroenke has announced that he's going to build an NFL stadium in Inglewood. Now, look, let's first talk PR-wise. This was planned to run today. The season is officially over. It's the first round of the playoffs. It's the Monday after the first round of the playoffs. So his fulfillment of his lease is now game to game. Right. He can leave after any game. He can leave after the first game, the sixth game. It's now month to month. It's now year to year, I guess.
But he'll be here because the commissioner's already said. Now, I guess that could change. But then again, he still has to have a stadium out there.
Right.
And the commissioner said, look.
But it doesn't matter what the commissioner says. The commissioner's bosses are the owners. And so if Stan Kroenke wants to pick up and leave, the NFL has had a hard time trying to stop these teams from leaving in the past. And billionaires usually get what they want. And so it's not a shock that it came out today. It was all planned. If you look at this story at the LA Times, they've got pictures, they've got artist renderings. This is a one giant PR machine that has now ignited.
Plus, he never once denied. He never said anything. Not that he had to come out and say something, but you would think that he would kind of, in a way, owe it to St. Louis to say, no, we are not
trying to do
Doesn't
everything we can.
care. Right. Doesn't care.
And when his silence was deafening,
And you know what? I mean, look, for that part, you got to give, I don't want to give him credit, but at least he's a shrewd negotiator, right? When the DeWitts wanted their stadium, we want to stay. Let's see what we can do. I wasn't here when Bidwill wanted his stadium, but wasn't it one of those things where he said, "Hey, I want a new stadium. I want to stay.
Exactly.
I want to stay."
Right. And then there were the reports, that Mr. B was visiting, other communities back then that didn't have an NFL team.
But Stan Kroenke has made no bones about it. And no one has leaked information. Boy, he wants to stay. Let's see what I don't think the man wants to stay. So if you don't want to stay, it's like a girlfriend, right? Here, look, I've got a car and I have a ring, and I'll give you a second home in Cape Girardeau, and I have a boat. But you're dating this girl in California who's giving you nothing, and you still want to go with her. Okay, good luck to you.
Quite honestly, McGraw and Kelly, it's a business deal. Yeah. And I don't think that, we'll be blue in the face talking about the fact that Stan doesn't like St. Louis or whatever. I don't really buy that. I just say this is entirely a business deal. Okay, McGraw, Millhaven, and Kelly have an opportunity to open up a business in Los Angeles that would be bigger and put more money in their pockets. They're probably going to go.
You're right in a certain extent. There is business. It is part business, but it's
all business.
However, but it's also part community relations. It's part.
They don't care about that.
No, well, I don't want to say they don't, because the Rams have been good corporate. There's too many people in the front office the last 20 plus years have done great charity things and all sorts of great things. So
maybe you mean more specifically Kroenke. It's all business for him.
But if this report is true, which we can only assume it is because they've got artist renderings, where did they get the artist renderings from? I mean, this is all given to this reporter at the LA Times. This was strategically planned from the word go.
No question.
And in there it says no tax dollars, no subsidies will be given for this $1 billion stadium, which looks beautiful, by the way, the artist renderings. So if that's the case, what can St. Louis do to keep him? Nothing. If this isn't like, hey, we're talking about it. This was like the grand plan. Here's what we are going to build. So if he stays, are you telling me that he's going to own the Rams here in St. Louis, but he's going to own the stadium for the Chargers or the Raiders? But that's not going to happen. I mean,
that's an excellent point, McGraw.
Right. And all these people said, well, they have to exhaust every option. They have to. The NFL owners do whatever they want, whenever they want. There is no league policy. The league policy was you couldn't own 2 teams. He's owned 2 teams.
We don't know, for that matter, if a couple of these other NFL teams that have had kind of shaky fan support and that sort of thing, maybe haven't already been in contact with St. Louis saying, hey, Stan's going to be out the back door. Would you be interested in taking us with a little orphan in San Diego or Oakland?
Somebody get Mark Lamping on the phone and talk to, Mark Lamping, who's now president of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. Except for the fact, McGraw, they have indicated and pretty much have told their community we're staying.
Right.
Like up in Buffalo, for instance.
Right.
And so I really don't.
I don't want to rip the heart out of Buffalo Bills fans. Those poor fans up there. That's all they got. They got that in Niagara Falls. This is basically, who's going to want to buy a ticket to the Rams game next year when their owner is building a stadium in Los Angeles?
I agree.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
There may be some amount of sentimentality to it. But
Sam comes back, and the Rams are like 15-1. You still want to go down there and watch them go to their first Super Bowl since Super 36.
I'm sorry, but this is this is
15-1.
This is almost. This is. He's got one foot out the door. This is like I don't care what Peacock says. Right. I mean, this is a slap across the face to everybody.
Yeah, you know what? It's a business deal, and he's just going to turn around and bring in the trucks. Not this year. They'll be here 15-1 down at the Dome with Sam.
There's going to be 15 people watching him at the Dome. Who's gonna want to go to a game?
It's the NFL, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still think they're going to be peeps. They're going to be going out.
So they're going to be called the LA Rams, and they're going to be renting. They're going to be renting the Dome while they build them a new stadium in Los Angeles.
St. Louis Rams that are on their way to
LA.
LA.
Holy mackerel!
Or maybe the St. Louis / LA Rams.
Wow, that's some bombshell this morning.
It is.
Welcome to the new year.
But like you were saying, not that big of a surprise.
It's not a surprise, but
that they've been planning behind closed doors.
But the audacity of it. Here you go.
Business.
When you're a billionaire,
I mean, that is cold. That is. I don't want to be that business. I don't want to be that cold. I don't want to be that shrewd. If that's what it takes to be a billionaire.
But don't other teams, when they move, aren't they the same way? When
Basically.
they move to other locations, they're not going to say, "Oh, you know what? We're really sorry."
Well, but when the Colts left Baltimore, they left in the middle of the night. They didn't say we're going to stay in Baltimore while they build us a stadium in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Here's the greatest thing, I think. Okay, behind Sam next year, and the Rams are 15-1.
Yeah.
Okay. So then now they're out the door. But in the meantime, we're going to have a new stadium announced in San Diego or Oakland. Can you imagine an Oakland franchise coming to St. Louis?
Well, I don't 6:30 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll talk more about all this throughout the morning on the Big 550 KTRS. It's a new year, and we finished the